Welcome back, kiddies, to another episode of RaTG TV with your hosts, Zeus and the Wellandwingnut. And they thought I was the crazy one.
Black magic. You got to know, got to show, it's time to roll. So just tell me what you want to hear. Tell me what you want, so just tell me what you want to hear.
Welcome back to another edition of RaTG TV. That's it. That quick. Wait, were you doing martial arts or were you doing Spider-Man?
No, I got to fly in here.
Oh, okay. I was doing techno from 2011. Sorry. My rave days weren't the best. Welcome back to another edition of RaTG TV. It's your boy Zeus, and joining me as he does from week to week, my heterosexual life mate, my pal, my partner, the Wellandwingnut himself, Steve Lambert. What's going on, brother?
What's up, buddy? Big win for your Wolverines today.
Yeah, you see a sweater today.
I was really hoping I could get the clean sweep this week. My Knowles won last night. My Red Wings won last night. Cincinnati big game tomorrow at Tennessee, but Denmark falling to France today.
Ooh, yeah. Okay.
And probably was the most boring game ever.
And the most boring sport.
Right.
Well, close to it.
If we're being honest.
If we're being honest. And for North America, and I'm not even speaking all North Americans, but I think the majority of us are. Listen, take the midfielders out. Give us more scoring and stop flopping.
I would watch it.
I would watch it too.
If goal scoring would go up and it was a little faster pace, I would watch it.
If it like arena soccer, maybe. Like,
yeah, you know what? So
make it a smaller field, no midfielders. Yeah. Let's go.
I was arrested for a crime I didn't commit in my youth. Since had a pardon, I'm totally legal now. Everything's good. But I ended up getting community service, and I lucked out. I ended up doing my community service. I was the scorekeeper at the soccer club in Welland for the men's A League, and it was entertaining, man.
Didn't you get hockey too?
No. Somebody
else I know that was the same deal they had to do for community service was they were scorekeepers for hockey.
And the guy who signed my card every night, he may or may not have added a few hours every night because he lived down the street from me.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you were completely innocent, of course.
Right.
He's wearing a toque indoors, folks. I'm just saying. Sorry, for you Americans, he's wearing a beanie indoors.
Right.
That's not a beanie.
Well, I got the big bay door open in my dojo, so
right. A beanie is a beanie baby, though. Like a beanie. Just saying. Anyways, back to things before I karate chop this shit down. You talked about being in your dojo there. We are talking this week our favorite martial arts movies of all time in honor of the late great Jason David Frank. I thought it'd just be right for us to do something martial arts oriented. You and I were both a little old when it came to Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I watched it, even though I should have. Listen, I watched it all the way up till the Ivan Ooze. Tell me you didn't watch Ivan Ooze. Anyways, shut up. I'm not ashamed at all. But we lost a legend this weekend. He was very good to us as well. And so because of that, we wanted to talk about our favorite martial art movies, even though he wasn't really in any of them himself. But as you can see, sporting some Bruce Leroy in the background there. Some Last Dragon. But it didn't make my list. I'm sorry, folks. That's why it got up there. That's what you'll notice a lot of times with these top fives. Something that I wanted to give an honorable mention to will make there. So, and I don't want to give anything away. We should probably get into it pretty soon, though, because I want to get going. And James Takeo, I would love to hear some of your your choices. Because when we do these, and I'm sure Steve did the same thing I did, I'm like, oh yeah, I can think of a whole bunch off the top of my head, but I'm sure I'm forgetting some. So let's Google best martial arts movies of all times. And I did that. And I mean, there's so many that I've wanted to watch that I haven't seen yet. See, that I knew that I wanted to talk to someone like James about to see their take on it, especially when it comes to the samurai. A lot of those Shogun old school movies, Akira Kurosawa. Sorry.
And for us, like, I mean, martial arts movies go back to, I mean, the beginning of cinema. But I mean, for us, like, we grew up on a lot of those, being 80s kids. We grew up on a lot of those 70s and 80s the movies. Like, it was huge.
And everything was a takeoff of American Ninja or Enter the Ninja. And you'd have all these different movies like that. I remember collecting magazines that were ninja magazines. Like, they would tell you where you could buy it. Like, you could order shurikens online and shit like that. Like, that's how I learned about, the samurai. What is it? Seppuku when they kill themselves, or Seppuku, and then Kabuki is the theater, right? I believe. James could correct me on that. On Netflix, classic movie Wu-Tang gets their name from it. Oh, sweet. Yeah, because Wu-Tang were huge kung fu fans, especially like kung fu classic movies. For Kurosawa samurais movies, try I've seen Seven Samurai. I know that one. That's the one that, and the only reason why I saw that because that's what the Magnificent Seven is based upon. So, really, you're trying to watch Samurai Fiction, and Kabuki is theory or theater.
Well, there is Kabuki theater.
Yeah, there is Kabuki theater.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be talking about those. And yeah, 36 Chambers of Shaolin, best movie ever. That came up on the list. That was definitely up on the list. So, like I said, I'm going to want to pick your brain about some of these. The number one movie, James, was Five Deadly Venoms. Is the one that I saw across everything. Oh yeah, he said theater. But with that in mind, we want to get started with this. Let's talk about our favorite martial arts movies. And remember, these are Americanized, or these are Wellandized.
Right.
So these are our favorites based upon our childhood.
Right.
Yeah. But as usual, buddy, you usually start us off. Why don't you go first?
Yeah, and I thought this was one that we both might pick, and I was willing to trade it off because I definitely had a few other in the chamber. But one movie that we both really liked, and I was surprised to see this one on a list of worst martial arts movies of all time.
Really?
But I mean, great cast. We got Chris Penn, of course, Eric Roberts, and James Earl Jones was in it as well.
And Robin
Hodder was in this.
Who?
Jason.
Oh, no way. And that and the Korean guy, I believe, his name was Robin something, but he was in a bunch of stuff. But then he started going from those number one roles to like backup roles to not even speaking roles, just action roles. He was in Lethal Weapon 4, I think it was. He fought Mel Gibson in the back of the house on the highway. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
No.
Remember, they were chasing down somebody, and there was a truck that had a house on the back of it. You don't remember that? Mel Gibson.
Oh yeah.
Into the house and fighting the guy in there.
Yeah,
this is the Jet Li movie. He played a Chinese guy in that movie.
Yes.
But yeah, so that was him as well. I really, really liked him. I don't think his name is Robin though. I'm mixing that up now. I think the guy named Robin was the guy who played Liu Kang in the original Mortal Kombat movie. Somebody please let us know. And I know Greg Switzer will be watching soon, so he can definitely let us know. Great pick though, man. Like I'm down with that.
And we talked about the 80s. This one was close to this one, late 80s. I'm going to say the 89, 90. But 80s, like, I mean, I was running around in all black. I had the black sweater, you use the neck hole to make your eyes real tight and tie it around the back of your head. So you had the ninja mask. So, I mean, Michael Dudikoff was the shit.
Dude, or American Ninja. White
I
Ninja.
mean, you could call it White Ninja.
It really was. Like he even went to the full white ninja outfit later.
Right.
Like, unless you're a ninja in Antarctica, what is the point? Like, I think you missed the point. You missed the point. But you know what? I almost put this movie on mine as well, just because it was such a huge part of both of our childhood. What was there? 3 of these, 4 of them?
Yeah, I was gonna say 3 or 4. Yeah.
And he always had the black guy that was his best friend. That was like basically was the roadblock. Remember, every movie back then had the G.I. Joe had Roadblock. The big.
I can't remember his name, but yeah, he passed away young. He was in his 40s when he passed away, but he was in a lot of action movies in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, he was. I used to mix him up. I don't know how, but I used to mix him up with Carl Weathers just because Action Jackson, or maybe he was in that movie with him. But yeah, great movie, dude.
Moving on here, we're getting into some of the earlier stuff for us, anyways. I mean, this was 70s, but it was, we were kids of the late 70s, so I absolutely love Bruce Lee growing up. Not as much as the next guy on my list, but I definitely had some love for Bruce Lee. And I mean, what better scene was there than that scene at the Ice House?
Oh, dude, that
in Fist of Fury, 1972.
There were so many great scenes in so many of different movies. That's a great one too, and they almost jumble because it's been so long and so many great scenes from different movies.
I had to make sure, because right away I'm like, oh, the Ice House scene. I'm like, which Bruce Lee movie was that? Because you know what I mean? I hadn't watched these in so long, right? Right.
With me, it's no, I always like. I have one that I'll talk about in my list that I always remember that one just because of who's in it. But I forget the one where he goes and he takes on every black belt. Like he just kicks the shit out of he walks into a dojo and he's like, yeah, I want all of the black belts. No, just, and he fucks them all up. But yeah, that like shit like that just stands out to you. The House of Mirrors in, was it The Last Dragon?
Right. Enter
the Dragon, right? So, yeah, Bruce Lee, man, and you know how much I love Warrior, which was based on a show based on his concepts, put on by his daughter. So, yeah, man, love it.
This next guy I mentioned, I didn't like Bruce Lee as much as this next guy. This next guy was my boy, and you got one of my favorite movies on your list as well. I was kind of back and forth between this one and that one. That one being a little newer, but this one was a classic. Back in the 80s, I watched this one so many times. Action comedy, kind of.
That's what he did.
Yeah. Drunken Master, Jackie Chan. Of course, he's redid this one a few times. There were sequels. There was the redo.
Yeah. The redo wasn't that long ago, like early.
10 years ago, I'm going to say. 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, the early teens for sure.
Yeah.
I love it. And Jackie Chan has always been a comedic martial artist. You know who I didn't know who always worked with him and always did a bunch of these as well? And she almost made my list? Michelle Yeoh. Do you know who that is?
Not offhand, no.
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Okay, yeah.
She did oh my god, she was like, so she did all her own stunts as well. She did a movie called Wing Chun back in the day, and it's the same deal. It's like just this drunken, basically the drunken master, and she's great, man. Like, she is honestly one of my favorites today. She's gonna win an Oscar for that fucking movie, and that was a weird fucking movie. I liked it a lot, but that's a weird thing. For like, she's probably going to win the Oscar for it, or at least get nominated. But anyways, yeah. So yes, Jackie Chan, love it.
Yeah,
but he's not your favorite.
I mean, I'd be pushing it to add this next guy to their level. I mean, he was a great movie star. This particular movie, there's definitely a lot of controversy to the facts surrounding it, whether the story of Frank Dukes was even real or not. But hey, you know what? It made for one hell of an entertaining movie, and had one of my favorite guys in it too, who played Ray Jackson, Mr. Don Gibb. Now, of course, I'm talking about Bloodsport, starring Rob Van Dam, Jean-Paul Van Damme,
oh fucking show.
Bolo Young, Forrest Whitaker.
Wait, Forrest was in that movie too?
Forrest? Yeah, he was one of the agents trying to bring him back to the army base.
Oh my God. I haven't seen it I was going to say easy 10 years. It's probably been 20 years since I've seen that movie.
I wore
love that movie.
2 VHS copies of this movie, and
I know.
to this day I know it verbatim.
I didn't know, like, I knew you were going to put this in. I was wondering if you're going to put Kickboxer in just for the dance scene.
Yeah, I
debated it because I knew you wanted to show the dance. I didn't download it, but fuck, I should have. Right, Tall and Hips. Tall and Hips. Honestly, though,
didn't he do it on a talk show too?
Yeah,
where he did.
Literally, though, the late 80s, early 90s for us was all Jean-Claude Van Damme for fucking martial arts and fucking Steven Seagal.
Yeah. And you were either team Van Damme or a douchebag.
Same thing, though, isn't it?
I liked Under Siege. I liked Under Siege.
I did. You know what? I liked.
And what was the one with?
The one with the guy that played Al Capone. That was a really good one. Richie.
Exit Wounds with
DMX.
DMX. Yeah, I really like that one.
That was all right, but I really dug the one with him and oh my God, that the Italian actor that always plays mafia guys. John Forsythe.
Oh, John Forsythe. Yeah.
Yeah, they did one Above the Law, I think it was. Maybe Sharon.
Yeah, there's definitely a Steven Seagal movie called Above the Law. Yeah, I don't remember it, but
it was one of it, but it was really good. I mean, for that kind of like when I was 18 and my hormones were like, yeah.
I won't spoil it because it's on your list, but yeah, I got a moment about watching one of these movies and having a very testosterone injected moment.
Oh no shit. All right, well, remind me for sure. All right, and that was your number one, eh?
That was number one.
Bloodsport.
Still love it today.
JCVD, buddy. Have you ever seen JCVD? That was his. No, there was a movie.
Oh, the movie, yes, I have.
Where he plays himself.
Right.
Yeah. That was the original massive weight of everything, like that Nicolas Cage movie that's out now, where he plays Nick Cage. That was the OG. He did it first. Let's be honest. All right, we're gonna go with my list now, and yeah, mine's all over the place, I guess. James says JCVD is interesting.
Yes.
That's also what Ray said. Was that Ray?
Yeah, Don Gibb. Yeah, Ray Jackson.
Yeah.
He crushed 13-year-old me.
Well, he said JCVD is a dick, and that he didn't pull his punches or kicks at all because he didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
And he refused to rehearse to the extent that he probably should have rehearsed.
Yeah, because didn't he break someone's neck?
Yeah, he hurt a couple guys in Bloodsport. Yeah.
And then when he did the Expendables, he hurt Liam Hemsworth.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen that one where he's in the one Expendables movies that JCVD's in it. And he kills Liam Hemsworth, and when he kills him, he actually kicks him. Actually hits him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a recurring theme. So if I ever get to be in a movie with JCVD.
Well, maybe you'll be in the next Predator with him. Oh, wait.
You just stop it. He's not in the next Predator. He is a Predator. Oh, too soon? We don't know. I'm just joking. All right, let's just start. We're gonna start with my number 5 movie here. Listen, I had a hard time. I bumped The Matrix for my number 5 here, and the only reason why I bumped The Matrix, I give Keanu Reeves a ton of credit for the kung fu he learned. I believe he's like a black belt, and he's legit, and he was doing legit stuff there. I'm not a wire work guy though. I don't like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Any of that stuff's you're not gonna see on my list. I liked it in The Matrix for what it was, but because of that, and because it was so heavily influenced more by gunplay than anything else, I disqualified it for my number 5, and that it had to go to Kill Bill, and mostly just for the fight right here that we see here. where Beatrix is taking on the crazy 88. I mean, the sword play we saw here, I get that a lot of it wasn't her, it was her double and stuff. To me, that doesn't matter, man. I mean, just the action we saw in that sequence there, up and down the banister. And yeah, I get what I just said about wire work and not liking it. There was wire work there, but it was minimal. It was really minimal, and I just really, I don't know, I really dug it. And we're just talking about what were faves, and that's
those are those movies never really hit with me. I don't know, and I've never given them a second viewing.
Really, the Kill Bills or
Tarantino
in general?
No, I Quentin Tarantino is very hit or miss with me. His movies, definitely.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
It took me 3 days to get through with what was the one in the snow?
Hateful Eight. I still haven't finished it.
It took me 3 days to get through it.
Dude,
and I was just like, oh God. I'm like, okay, there's still 2.5 hours left. Something's got to happen.
Right? Like I watched that first hour and a half twice because the first time I fell asleep and I couldn't remember where I fell asleep. The second time I basically fell asleep again, and then the third time I tried to pick it up from where I left off, and I was like, no, man, just no. I shouldn't have to put this much work into something.
Right.
You know,
it was just supposed to entertain and make you forget.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be that much work right off the bat. Right. Same actor in that scene in Fight as 36 Chambers as in Kill Bill, the bald guy. Oh yeah, I could see that. Yeah, man, it was a great fight scene. I loved it. This next one, we talked about 90s martial artists. Now, in big movies, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Steven Seagal were the two big names. You always had your McDonald's and your Burger King, but you also had like your Arby's or your fucking
KFC, Taco Bell,
your KFC or your Carl's Jr., which we don't have here in Canada. And for me, I liked the cheap version of these martial arts guys because he was a true martial artist as well. And I loved his movies, and I loved being taught what Kempo was because I'd never heard of Kempo before, and seeing a Eskrima sticks. And it was just badass watching Jeff Speakman go to work. And I honestly love The Perfect Weapon. I think I just watched this maybe 5-10 years ago, and it still held up for me. I mean, Rufio's in that movie. Looking Donnie Basco.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Rufio from Hook. Rufio. He's in that. So it was good. And I just love that. I actually bought a pair of Eskrima sticks just because of that guy. Badass. And I like Nightwing now just because Nightwing uses those. So, yeah. Do you remember that guy at all? Or do you remember that?
Vaguely, yes.
Yeah. Jeff Speak, man. The Perfect Weapon. Next up, same as you, like Bruce Lee fan, growing up. But the Bruce Lee movie that always stuck out the most for me, just like you had to go with the one that stuck out for you, was I couldn't think of a better one than, him fighting Chuck fucking Norris. Like that battle was fucking epic. And The Way of the Dragon, or also known as Return of the Dragon, was my introduction into Bruce Lee. That's the one that, my grandparents were like, okay, watch this one, sort of thing. So, and it was Chuck Norris. It was Chuck Norris and Bruce fucking Lee. And same movie Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was in, I believe.
Yes.
So, I mean, like, yeah, he had all his students in that movie. So it was pretty great. Great fight with two awesome martial artists. Exactly. And I heard, and James, I don't know about you, but I heard rumors, and Steve, I'm not sure if you heard it either, that they actually they went at it in that fucking fight. Like when they were filming it, that they let them kind of go for a bit. And I'm like so down with all that. James is saying that was a different movie. That Kareem was in. All right.
Really? Oh, it was Enter the Dragon.
Right.
Yes, that was Enter the Dragon.
Another dragon.
Yes.
There were a lot of those dragon movies. Either way, Bruce Lee fought Kareem in unfinished movie Game of Death. Oh, I thought I'd seen that though. I'm sure I know I've seen the fight scene. Either way, number 2 on my list, and I think we both go the same way? Was your number 3 Bruce Lee?
Yep.
And your number 2 was the same as my number 2? Jackie Chan? That's fucked up. I had to go with Rumble in the Bronx. So, like, this was the movie that brought Jackie Chan to North America's attention, you know? This movie, then the Rush Hour movies came after this. My kid grew up watching Jackie Chan Adventures,
Right?
Dune, you know? And this movie was it for us. I mean, and us knowing that this dude was doing all his own stunts, and he was doing all these martial arts movies with a Disney basically touch to it, because there's no swearing, there's no sex, there's no, for as much violence, there's no violence in these movies, right? Like, it was like watching G.I. Joe. There's never any blood. Nobody ever dies. You know,
the scene where they're in the clubhouse, where they're chasing them all over the place, and they're grabbing stuff off the pool table, and it's just so well choreographed. And that's the movie I was talking about. So I went and saw that at the theater in Welland at the Seaway Mall, and I still remember coming out of that theater watching that movie with me, Moose, and I'm pretty sure Sammy Bishop. And man, we were doing karate the whole way home, and just, you know, like fighting each other, and oh man,
that's awesome. Did Sammy still have his nose at that point?
Right. Yes, it was pre-bite.
Pre-bite. Have you guys seen Kung Fu Movie Doc on Netflix? No, I haven't. No, but I would watch it. I would definitely watch it. I get a kick out of that stuff. And for my number 1, to me, this is the greatest fight movie. And I'm not saying like sports fight. Like, I'm not talking MMA. I'm not talking fucking boxing movies. I'm talking a mix of martial arts and just pure fucking fighting. And I don't know if you've ever seen this movie, and I really hope you have. And if not, Steve, I implore you to fucking go out and look for The Raid. Have you ever heard of The Raid?
So when I was going through the pictures earlier before you came on, I looked at this one, and right away I recognized it. I haven't seen this movie, but it was a movie that was on my list a long time ago, and I just forgot about. And
dude, please, I'm telling you, go watch it. Joe Taslim's in it. Iwa, I always fuck his name up, so I'm not gonna try. But who we saw right there. That's where they got the idea for the Daredevil hallway fight scenes. Except for every fucking floor of that movie is a hallway fight scene with more and more guys, and it gets worse. Each level as they try to go down. It's about these cops that are trying to take out these drug dealers, and they start at the top floor of a building and work their fucking way down, and they're outnumbered to shit. And I mean, it is so fucking violent, and the fighting is so, the fight choreography in that movie is honestly probably the best fight choreography I've ever seen in any movie. And we always talk about how these lists are fluid. Until I see a better movie than that one, that will always be the top of my list. Everything else will fluctuate. Like that will always be the top. The Raid 1 and 2 are great movies. Yeah, part 2 was really good as well. My problem with part 2 was it was the same movie. It was the same movie as the first one. So
no, I'm definitely gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, for sure. I think you'd like it. It's very, very intense. Almost as intense as trying to keep up with your bills at this time of year, you know? Like when you have to pay bills coming close to Christmas, your kids are in school, it's winter time, so you got to buy all the clothes for everybody. You're buying tires for your car for the snow. You need to save money where you can. And folks, listen, you don't want to cut corners. You don't want to have to sacrifice luxury just for having to, you know, pay the bills. Yes, I'm showing off my Michigan Wolverine sweater. But if you want to do that, do yourself a favor. Cut the cable. Cut the wire with the big cable guys. If you live in Canada, or especially if you live in Ontario, go to DocNet. You see Steve pointing to it right there. DocNet.ca. They've got you covered for home internet, high-speed internet. It's what we use for the show right here that you're watching. No, I'm just kidding. We're going good here. but folks, honestly, docnet.ca, if you want to save some money going into Christmas, hey, if you want to get that great Christmas gift for your parents and you want to, hey, just be like, listen, Mom, Dad, I saved you some money this year. I know I use a lot of your internet, so I switched you. I switched your providers to docnet.ca, and now you're saving all this extra money year round so you can buy me something better for next Christmas. See that? Docnet.ca. Connecting Christmas to your home. What's the new thing? It's holiday version. What'd you think? Have you seen The Night Comes For Us Netflix movie with the guy from The Raid? And it's so good, highly recommended. No, I haven't. Which guy? Is it Iwaja or is it Joe Taslim? Joe Taslim plays Sub-Zero in the new Mortal Kombat movies. Yeah. And he's also I always forget his name in Warrior. But he's dating Diane Doan, the head of the Long Z. So good. I have it. It is good. And James, please tell me you've watched Warrior. It's so good, but I don't want to sound racist, or is this wrong of me to ask? James, and I know you as a friend, you have no problem with me asking this, but I do want to know, as a Japanese fellow yourself, do you watch other Asian films and other Asian stuff? So like Warrior is based on Japanese culture. Do you watch a lot of Chinese stuff? Do you watch Korean stuff like Squid Games, right?
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. Sweet. He says, I have watched Warrior. These are all good. Oh, sweet, brother. Love it. I just wasn't sure. Like, I didn't know, like, if it was like what the relationship is there, because
there is a hierarchy, right?
Between Japan and China.
At least they think so.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, I know there's a lot of bad blood there. I just don't know.
It's like how we shit on Dunville, and St. Catherine's shits on us, and everybody shits on Port Colborne. I'm just kidding.
Right.
We love Port Colborne.
Oh wait, so Iko and Joe are both in that movie, and it's called, what is it called? The Night Comes For Us. Is it that sounds like a zombie or a vampire movie? Is that like a martial arts horror movie? And yeah, James, you're absolutely right. They're all good. We live in such a weird world, though. We do have to tiptoe around certain shit like that. Like, really, though, you have to ask properly. And I don't ask properly for James's sake because I know James personally. I have to ask him properly for those gatekeepers on the outside that watch, and they're like, you can't, right? So, anyways, I get it. And gatekeepers, I get it. You're doing God's work. I agree on the comment about The Night Comes For Us. Oh, we're gonna have to look for that one. That's two good reviews for that. So every week we do this show and we do our little top five. But after the top five, it is Steve's time to shine, because we always get to Steve's 5-second movie review, where Steve gives us his latest review on the movie that he's watched this week. And what movie, pray tell, did you have for us this week, sir?
I watched the new horror movie. Well, it's not really that new anymore because it's been a little over a month, but I mean, it is killing at the box office. This movie is over $200 million now. And I mean, for a horror movie, that's impressive. That's impressive for any movie. Dude,
I watched the trailer for Smile, and it legit scared me in the trailer. It did scare me, but I watched it and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a movie I'm not going to watch. Right. I'm like, and to me, those are the scary movies. And even if, so like the torture stuff or whatever, if they show that, yeah, that's going to be rough for me. But it's the shit leading up to it. It's my heart trying to make it up until the point where someone gets dead. It's not the act of them dying. It's getting to there.
Yeah.
So, I'm pretty excited about this one. What can you tell us about it? before we get into it?
So yeah, it's somewhat. I'm not going to say paranormal, but I mean, I guess on some levels, it's and these aren't the kind of movies that I usually like as a horror fan. I'm not into the ghosts or the paranormal stuff usually. Really enjoyed The Black Phone, which shocked me because I remember watching the trailer and I was just like, yeah, that's not for me. And it was my early pick for movie of the year. So
right, I remember that because it got a perfect 5 from you.
So I hesitantly actually, you know what? It wasn't even hesitant because we had just gotten the news that the drive-in was back and had been purchased by Premier Theaters. They opened for one weekend as just to kind of give back to the fans and say, hey, come on out. And they had a couple screens open. This was one of the screens that was playing, so we went and checked it out. And yeah,
right on. All right. Well, I guess there's nothing left to let people know. So for the Steve's 5-second movie review, we're going to take 5 seconds, put it on the board. We've got the best of technology for that. And Steve is going to use that 5 seconds to give us his review of the movie Smile. Steve, are you ready? I mean, we can't get to it yet. Yeah, we got to limber up first because it's time for Steve's 5-second movie review by Steve. Yeah. Like that felt like a good one.
The extra jazz hands today.
Whoa, what was that? Was that Facebook user 6542?
It is.
Oh wow. She's really into this one. I almost want to hear her 5-second movie review for this one, but
if we were at home, I would have made Steve stop and let me wrap my head around for a few minutes because that's what I usually have to do with movies like this, but I couldn't do that. Yeah, I had to do The Black Phone 3 times. It was Fresh about 4 times, and with one the 2017 Leatherface, I had to get him to stop it because I just couldn't.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I need to stop and get over the disturb.
The 2017 Leatherface, I think she questioned our relationship.
Oh yeah.
Was that the Matthew McConaughey one?
No.
Yeah, no. Oh my God.
That one was bad?
That was like 1990-ish. Yeah, that one. Yeah, with Renee Zellweger as well.
Not to go off topic, but I'm not big on Leatherface, but the 2017, it was actually the best one I've ever seen if I had to judge. Just because it was Origin and I love Origin, but it was, oh my God. Disturbing. Huge.
All right. Well, with that in mind, we know what she would give it. Steve, I'm going to put 5 seconds on the board. Are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
5 seconds is on the board. You may begin now.
I liked it. I really liked it.
So the folks at home that are just listening to this,
Right, for the hearing impaired,
I'll come across it very slowly over the 5 seconds.
So, the best of horror movies, even though I enjoy a lot of them, and I enjoy more than just the, oh my God, it scared me, because especially when you're a hardcore horror fan, that rarely happens anymore. You hardly get those even classic jump scares.
Right.
This movie, I said best. Usually movies get me maybe once. I think this movie, the drive-in, we had the speakers up, the car speakers up loud, so I'm kind of using that in my defense a little bit. But I think I jumped probably about 4 times, and one of them was oh my God, Jesus Christ!
I fucking love it. That's awesome. So,
yeah.
So, what is the basic concept of the movie then?
So we start at a hospital or hospital type facility, and people are coming for treatment, and the girl comes in and she's talking with the therapist and basically saying, I've started seeing these things, and when it comes, there's nothing I can do, and you got to help me. And during the conversation, it appears that she's being attacked by something that apparently is to everyone else is not there. People, and they just have that dead smile right before it happens.
And they're the only people that can see it. Are the people that are
then the person that went. So spoilers. This girl commits suicide in front of the doctor, and now it's the doctor that is seeing things, and there's a pattern that is developing. It's almost like a chain being passed on.
And you see this in the trailer though, so it's not a huge spoiler. You
Right.
do see that she dies in there, and the focus is actually isn't on this girl, even though we see her all over all the promotions. It's about the therapist that's interviewing her.
Right. And that is I apologize there. I had it right in front of me. That is Sosie Bacon, Kevin Bacon's daughter, and
who that is?
Kira Sedgwick.
Yeah, that's their daughter.
The therapist.
Yeah,
Oh, the
she's their
therapist. So I was gonna say
Yeah.
she doesn't look like either one of them.
Yeah, no.
I was gonna say, what a lucky girl.
Yeah.
Smile was amazing. As a massive horror fan, this was a great film. Well, let's see if Steve agrees with you. It sounds like you agree with him. Steve, what did you give Smile out of 5?
I gave it a 3.5.
Oh, damn. All right.
Yeah.
Not bad. Honestly, I thought the way you're going with that, I thought this was going to get like a 4 or something.
There were certain elements of the movie, and I'm going to say the ending, which is, again, it's when it gets weird for me. It's like it was effective, and I didn't hate the ending, but
with all the build up, it's kind of disappointing sometimes when they don't do
I expected more, I think, from a movie that I otherwise really, really, really enjoyed.
Fair enough. I totally get that. Well, there you go. 3.5 out of 3.5.
Not shitting on the ending at all.
Out of 5. No, but you guys got to also think of how big that is for a guy who loves horror movies but doesn't like the supernatural aspect of things. And this is one of those movies.
And we got to find out what Marilyn Manson was up to. So, I mean, there was that.
Why? What did I miss?
Little inside joke for people that have seen the movie.
Okay.
Please tell me he's not in this movie.
The thing at the end.
Yeah, that's right.
He's not still getting work, is he?
I hope not.
Last show we went to, he canceled, remember? When he was with Rob Zombie.
Well, what's kind of ironic about that is he canceled the last show, and now he's been canceled. It's all full circle.
Yep.
Or as he would say, a wraparound. The girl from the poster is an Aussie actor. Yeah, I'm not familiar with her. And Mitchell, you're from Australia as well, right? We always have. Why are you up so early? What is this? 6 o'clock in the morning for you right now? If you are,
yeah.
Like, we love our Aussie fans. We don't understand why you're our fan, but we love you. We absolutely love you. And yes, honestly, one day we might come there.
I mean, there was that, maybe it's that whole reverse fascination thing. Like, we were obsessed with Paul Hogan and Yahoo Serious.
I've heard from a couple Aussies now.
Is Yahoo Serious still alive? I want to know. Is Yahoo Serious still alive?
I don't know. I think so. But I've heard from a few Aussies that they don't really like Paul Hogan.
I know. I've heard that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 11 a.m. What the hell? Well, you must.
Well, we used to do the radio show at 5, and we would joke. We would always make the joke that we were the #1 Sunday morning pop culture show in the Southern Tier of Australia.
Right. True.
Yeah.
And that was Canberra.
Yeah. Canberra.
Nice. No R.
Canberra.
Canberra. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And you saw Jim at Jeffrey, so you should be way better at this.
Yeah.
Not blaming you. All right. You know what? Normally we get right into the news right away, but before we get into the news, I'm going to do our TikToker of the week. So once we're done news, we can just get out of here. I know you're in a bit of a rush, so starting things off a little differently this week. But folks, for you, we do the TikToker of the week each and every week, and I got to tell you, I had a safe one, and I had this one. That's not.
That's which one I voted for.
And I put it to a vote. To see which one should be the TikTok of the week. And this is the vote that won.
Yeah.
Don't cancel us.
I can't stand.
Send all your.
It's a lazy racist. I miss the old racist. You new racists are an embarrassment.
It says lazy nickel.
Because I'll get banned on TikTok. Be racist, motherfucker. At least the old racists did construction. And they gave us a pyrotechnic show. Right in the front yard. They rode on horses and shit. And wore costumes. You know how hard it is to keep white clean? You couldn't be a lazy racist back in the 50s. You're not even racist with your whole body. Y'all just thumb racist. If I was a racist white man, I'd be ashamed of you. Where's your fucking pride? Saying words like nickels. Shit don't even make no goddamn sense. We're brown, at least we should be pennies. If you want to say it, just say it. Say it with your chest and not with your thumbs.
Say it again. Say it loud. Say it for the people in the back. There's a reason why that one won.
Send all your hate mail to wellandwingnut@gmail.com.
Absolutely. Good kung fu movie or bad kung fu movies that are good. Big difference. Favorite. Yes, favorite.
Because I love a lot of universally hated movies that are people consider terrible. That's partly why I like them. Not because other people hate them, because they're just so awesomely bad.
That's why he loves Will Ferrell. I'm just kidding. Do you like Will Ferrell? I know you like him.
Yeah, I'm not like his biggest fan, but I enjoy his movies.
Did you watch
Elf? I've never seen Elf.
Really?
No.
Well, you hate Christmas though, so
I do.
And that's not me blowing things up. I mean, it's a
well-known fact.
That's a well-known fact. Like, I think you hate.
I put the Christmas cheer on until my kids realized there was no Santa, and after that, I was like, all right.
Wait, what did you say?
That there's no Santa?
Dude. Shut up.
I mean, there's the guys that dress up like Santa at the mall, but they're not Santa.
Yeah, those are his helpers.
Yeah, that's it.
Dude, not cool. Not cool. That's how you get cool.
Sorry,
That's
kids.
how you get cool in a fucking whatever Festivus poll.
Right, under my Festivus poll.
Right. Fucker. Poor Saint Nick. So yeah, that was our TikToker of the week, and we give them a lot of credit, even though we don't know their name because I couldn't read it on there. Now I'm not wearing my glasses. How are you liking the hair filling in here? I'm getting the Jean-Luc Picard, right? I mean, they're like, "Can you grow it in for a role?" And I'm like, "No."
There's
No.
hair there,
right? It's here on the sides. I'm getting the Picard, and I don't like it. It's the OG Philip Banks.
Yeah. You've gone full Banks.
I'm telling you, I'm manifesting that. That is gonna. There's gonna be a James Avery story, and I'm gonna play that. Well, you're laughing.
It's gonna happen. I know.
You're laughing. But tell me anybody else in the world that you know of that gets referred to him more than I do.
They'll definitely have to get some lifts.
Listen, motherfucker, they can shoot up, okay?
They'll have to cast small around you.
You mean the Uncle Phil? Yes. Oh, I didn't even see that. Facebook user. I'm more of a samurai film guy, but anything Donnie Yen does is up there. But old Sonny Chiba kicks ass. Yeah, and you know what, Greg? Also, Donnie Yen. I got on the train late, but Ip Man just barely missed my list, and that's just because it's been so long since I watched it. But yeah, Donnie Yen is fucking great. I almost put Rogue One in for Donnie Yen. Is that fucked up? I am one with the Force is one with me. I'm excited about that new Christmas movie. Violent Night looks like silly fun. So I honestly thought about asking Steve to go watch this. Like, I was like, we should go watch this and fucking do a review right after because it looks.
It's out already.
I don't think it's out yet. I think it comes out next week.
I didn't think so.
Yeah. So, but it looks like one that would be good for us to go to, even if we posted it and had said, hey, listen, RaTG TV is going to go watch this movie. Who else wants to come along with us? And then maybe do a little podcast after. But we will see. We'll see. Putting it out there. Putting out feelers for all 6 of you. All right. That was
people watching later.
And the people watching later. Right. Well, for the people watching later, I know you want to know what happened in the news. So for you, we have this. Yo, man, I did not see your Grim Reaper.
You know what? I noticed it a few minutes ago, and I don't think I have it anymore.
Did you accidentally delete it off of here?
I may have.
Oh, that's too
I
bad.
definitely have it somewhere. I can't find it right now.
Well, you know what? It needs to be updated anyways, and because we've had some big ones this year.
Yeah.
And this week is no different. You are our Grim Reaper of death, of celebrities. You start us off with the bad news every week. Listen, folks, the way we look at it, take the medicine now and then swallow some sugar down afterwards. Take the good news after the bad news. Trust us on this. And there is some bad news.
Yeah, death rarely takes a week off. And when they do, I call him out on Friday and then he kills somebody. So,
right. Usually happens.
But this week, we lost Irene Cara, known for Flashdance, the song in which she won Best Oscar for Best Original Song. Was also nominated and won Grammys, the Grammy for Best Female Pop Performance that year for the song as well. So, and she was in dozens of TV shows and movies.
Yeah, and she was on, like, most notably, I think, was Fame.
Right.
And where she was one of the lead actresses on there with Debbie Allen. You know what? I low-key loved Fame back in the 80s. And when I graduated high school, so there was this big, I was in theater and all that stuff in high school. And I went to Humber College for theater, and I had to audition to get in there. But I tried to get into the school in the States first that had done this Canada-wide fucking audition where they're giving away one scholarship and then I think 12 acceptances to their school. And it was called AMDA, American Musical Dramatic Arts Academy. I didn't get the scholarship, but I got one of the 12 spots and I just couldn't afford to go there. But that's what Fame was. That school is what Fame is based on. So, I mean, had I been a decent singer, no, I'm just kidding. We all know I'm a great singer.
Or dancer.
It's sad.
I can't say I've ever actually seen you dance, so I can't.
Out of the triple threat thing, like literally the only thing I have is the acting. And I'm like, great. You know, I'm biracial, and the only thing I got was
white man's feet.
I got the white guy. I got the white guy feet and the white guy fucking voice. I'm great at death metal, though. I tell you, great. You give me some fucking Sepultura, I'm there. Death metal?
Yep.
Sepultura?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I could do Ministry.
And then these next two, so young. This next actress, 47 years old. We've seen her in Supernatural, most notably. She actually had an album out, and she was in Jeepers Creepers too, as well. Miss Nikki Acox. Sorry, Nikki Cox is a whole different actress.
Yeah.
47 years old. Just tragic.
Died from cancer, was it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Really sad. And I'm a huge Supernatural guy. I remember Meg, the character. There's been a couple actresses that have played Meg as well. But I definitely remember. And this is, like you said, it's just it's sad, and cancer fucking sucks, dude. It really does.
And almost as equally does cancer suck. Mental health and suicide prevention is something that we really need to talk more about. And if you need help, please, there are numbers out there. Please contact them. Contact someone you know. Talk to somebody because suicide, man. 49 years old. Jason David Frank, of course, from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers fame. Also, mixed martial arts fighter.
This was a tough one. We talked about this earlier. How Power Rangers. I don't know if you watched it because I think we were late teens at that point. Like, I think we were 17 when I came out, 16, 17.
We were already at the bars.
I was at the bars, but I was still watching this shit. I'm an idiot. I still watch the shit now. So, like, honestly, I have no excuse for back then because as an almost 50-year-old, I'm literally watching cartoons every day still. Like, legit, I got sick of watching Big Bang Theory, so I've been watching Disney XD because it plays Avengers and Spider-Man cartoons on fucking rerun and Guardians of the Galaxy. And I'm such a child. That being said, yeah, listen, we heard about the news. I heard about it really early in the day, and it was reported by 3 different sites, and all 3 of them were not reputable sites. Like, these were sites that got shit wrong all the time. And Steve laughed at me because you got to me like hours later, and you're like, listen, people are reporting Jason David Frank, and I'm like, no, man, like, it's not.
Yeah, and I couldn't find it anywhere at that point. I just literally saw someone's post.
Yeah, and I you know me, I'm like, if I don't see it on TMZ, and I don't give a fuck, if I don't see it on TMZ, it didn't happen, because TMZ, as much shit as people want to give them, is run by lawyers. They don't post shit that doesn't happen. It's just, especially when it comes to deaths, they're usually the go-to with shit. So I was like, yeah, until I see it. And you had messaged me after a bunch of other people, and I had already, like, I was literally writing a post to say, listen, Jason David Frank isn't dead. And fucking sure enough, the TMZ fucking post came up. And I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. And that was like, I literally messaged you, and 2 seconds later, it was up, because I think I messaged you 2 seconds later. Oh, fuck. Here it is. And I mean, it blows your mind, because everything we've ever seen at JDF, he was good, man. Like, he sounded good. He was working out. He was healthy. He didn't. The only beef he ever had was, like, he had a beef with Jean-Claude Van Damme, which, I mean, everybody does. And then some guy tried to kill him at a fucking fan expo, brought weapons into a place and said, I brought these here to kill JDF. But aside from that, he was working. He was doing, I get it was always just Power Rangers, but he was doing a lot of like other work. He played Bloodshot and the Bat in the Sun stuff. And, you know, you just never fucking know. And
I don't know a lot of the details surrounding it, but apparently he had been arguing with his ex-wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and when it comes to stuff like that, because I've been there. I don't, Steve, you've been with Amber for a long time, but I'm sure you've been there at some point where you felt like I got divorced. When I got divorced, I'm like, that hit me out of nowhere, because I did not see it coming. And you think your world is going to end, but there's always, you just don't know. The only thing you know is, if you take your life, is that it's over, and you will not be able to know.
Everything else is a world of possibilities, man.
Fucking right. And there's a reason. If you go to our webpage on Facebook, Ryan's All Things Geek, we posted this a few years ago, suicide prevention help hotlines throughout the world, all the ones that we know of, at least at the time, from Wikipedia. Go on there, like, just see.
And that's the thing, you know, people, this smiling, that's the phrase is depression. You just don't know, you know, like
Robin Williams.
People play the part and right till the end, man.
Yeah, it's a sad day, and honestly, we don't want to see anyone we know, even if we don't know you, like, we don't want to see this. Like, there's you gotta think, like, there's nothing or possibilities, because when you're alive, you have no fucking clue what's going to happen next. You might have an idea, and you might think, oh, look at it this way. Look at life like flipping a coin. If you flip a coin and you get heads 75 times in a row, you might think, oh, fuck, I'm going to get heads again. But that's not the way life works. It could be fucking tails for the next 75 times. You just don't know. But if you die, there is no coin flip. That's it. So, not to get all heady and shit, it's just, that guy meant a lot to all of us. Suicide is a big thing for our page. Mental health is as well. And we want to see you see another day. Plain and simple. Quick little bit here from the interview we did with JDF when he was talking about the very controversial CM Punk, who's controversial again, who was the AEW champion, who got in a fight in the back room with the top 3 guys at AEW, punched a couple of them in the face and got fired and has not come back. But this was when he was in the UFC and was ducking JDF.
There, but like I said, amateurs, and you're probably going to ask a question next about someone. I would like to answer that.
I was going to save it for later, but let's get it out of the way now. Let's talk about Mr. Phil Brooks,
Okay.
otherwise known as CM Punk.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of us were caught off guard when he announced he wanted to enter the UFC, and even more shocked when Dana White agreed to it.
Yeah.
Now, he said that he needed to find an opponent right away, Dana was saying.
Yeah.
And you stepped up.
Yeah.
You were the first
Right
one to
away.
say, and I know that you're a Muay Thai champion, and you've got MMA experience. When you heard, that they weren't considering you, that had to have been a bit of a blow, especially considering the lack of experience someone like CM himself had.
Yeah, well, I do Muay Thai. I wouldn't say Muay Thai champion just for all the Muay Thai people, but I do Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, martial arts is my whole entire life. This is the first and probably only interview that I'll talk about CM Punk after the fight. I wanted to kind of post my reactions and stuff like that, but after watching the fight, I didn't want to post anything because I don't want to, hurt no one's feelings. But I will say this: UFC is something that all fighters coming up inspire to be.
Mm-hmm.
You inspire to want to be on UFC. You don't go to UFC with 0-0-0 and say I only have 6 months of training and now I have 2 years of training. It's not wrestling. It's a whole different game.
Mm-hmm.
I told him from day one. We've talked about fighting a long time ago before he got a UFC contract. We had stuff lined up a long time ago, but he just kind of seemed to ignore me a little bit. Now I know why.
Right?
I was told from several people in UFC I had too much experience, and that makes no sense whatsoever.
How could you have too much experience?
For the UFC. Especially, it's like me booking a movie with Al Pacino or Robert De Niro, and then they tell me you have too much experience. It's like, what?
Right.
It's mind-blowing. So he did what he did. I don't think it would have went no other way, no matter how many more years he has training.
Right.
I talked to Gall right before the fight.
Mickey showed you some love.
I did. Mickey, I wanted to give you a knockout bonus. We did talk about a financial knockout bonus, but you tapped him. So that doesn't count. But
So that was it. I mean, and what a great guy. Like, he was, I got to say, he's the only celebrity I think we've ever pre-set up an interview with at a Comic-Con where, like, we've reached out ahead of time and said, can we have an interview with JDF or have an interview with your rep there or your actor, and that's the first and I think only time they've got back to us and been like, yeah, you can. And I mean, super gracious. He knew us when we came up. He was waiting, I think this was the same year as Corey Feldman.
This was,
which it was pretty messed up to go from how great JDF was to Corey Feldman telling us we had to give him money to interview him, to him realizing we were on the radio and saying, oh, wait, can you play my music and then you can interview us? Anyways, yeah.
Saying no, we're good.
Yeah, right. We'll have you on when we have Kenny and Spenny on.
Right. Well, Kenny at least.
I mean, by proxy, the other one.
As Iron Sheik would say, fuck the Spenny.
Fuck the Spenny. Did you see, speaking of Iron Sheik, and to get off onto a happier note, the Iron Sheik posted not long ago, and we don't have this as a news thing. He retweeted the picture from the Bills game from Rich Stadium. Is it still Rich Stadium?
No, it's not, but yeah.
One Bills Drive.
Yeah.
Something like that. Anyways, so when they moved to Detroit and they were like snowed out last week, fucking Iron Sheik retweeted the photo and was like, oh, here's a picture of Jake the Snake with Robert's locker room.
In the 80s.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
or 90s. Or
that
early
dude,
2000s.
He's so good. Or just 5 years ago. No.
Oh, we shouldn't laugh at people's struggle for sobriety.
Oh, cheers. I kid. All right. So that was it for our deaths, eh?
Yeah.
The news doesn't get any happier to start. And I'm sorry, this is my fault. Chris Hemsworth. I don't. We weren't on last week, so I don't know if we talked about this. But Chris Hemsworth on his Limitless series said that he may have to stop acting eventually, and he's going to slow down definitely due to early onset of, I want to say it was Alzheimer's, might be dementia, but I believe it was Alzheimer's they had discovered. So Chris Hemsworth, after that, and saying that there might not be another Thor movie, and there was a lot of talk about that. And he was asked by Variety, about a potential last Thor movie, and if he wanted to kind of go out like, Iron Man did and Captain America and Black Widow.
Right.
And Chris said, yeah, for sure. I feel like we probably we have to close the book if I ever did it again. You know what I mean? I feel like it probably warrants that. I feel it like it probably be the finale, but that's not based on anything anyone's told me or any sort of plans. You have this birth of a hero, the journey of a hero, then the death of a hero. And I don't know. Am I at that stage? Who knows? Now, he's been on record multiple times as saying, and this is just as of late, since Taika's come on board, that he'd love to keep playing Thor for as long as he can. But I think there was a lot of vitriol after the last Thor Love and Thunder movie because it was so comedic. And he's even came out and said that Thor's next appearance has to be less comedic and make him less the laughing stock or the joke of every movie. And I'm with him on that. I think maybe they should go that way. I did like Thor Ragnarok. Love and Thunder was okay. It wasn't my favorite Phase 4 movie. It wasn't even my favorite Marvel movie. But it was all right for what it was. But I would like to see a more God of War type Thor.
Yeah.
Have you seen many of the Thor movies? Or
I haven't seen any of the standalone movies, no.
Ragnarok, I think you would like just because of how ridiculous it is. But I think the new one is way too over the top. Might be too over the top for even you.
Wow. And
Wow.
I like the second Suicide Squad, sorry. Wow.
I really like the second Suicide Squad movie. So if you had said the first one.
Yeah, I didn't make it through the first one. I had to shut it off.
I liked the first one up until the final battle. And I would like to see the David Ayer cut, like the director's cut.
Right.
But, I'd also like to see pretty birds and clouds and be able to say, wow.
A nice little tree. Just, nice, put a nice little tree there. Like,
a little happy tree.
Yeah.
Like that tree. I love it.
Yeah. Owen Wilson is going to be playing a Bob Ross type character in his upcoming movie Paint. Of course, definitely looks like Bob Ross there from The Joy of Painting.
Minus the pipe.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're just gonna put a nice little tree right there. Yeah.
Wow. That's
we're gonna milk that one, just so you know.
What, the wow and the pretty little tree? Right. Happy little accident. Wow. Okay. Well, so where are we going to see this?
It's Paramount, I believe. So look for it on Paramount Plus, maybe.
Paramount Plus has been fucking killing it lately. They've got some great stuff. We didn't talk about this on any show. Okay, have you watched any of the Tyler Sheridan shows? Like, you know who that is?
No.
Yellowstone, 1882, and all those shows. Never watched any of them, eh?
No.
So I've never watched any of them, but I've watched the newest one, Tulsa Kings, starring Sylvester Stallone. This shit's the funniest fucking show like I've watched in a long time. He's this mobster who does 25 years in jail. Comes out, he does 25 years in jail to protect the fucking mob boss, his mob boss. And when he gets out, times have passed, obviously, and the mob boss's son's in charge. So instead of getting a good piece of the pie, they send him to Tulsa. They're like, here, just go here. You get whatever the fuck you want. Just send us 10 grand a week and leave us alone, sort of thing. And it's Stallone trying to fucking come to terms with a brand new world after 25 years in jail. Think Hudson Hawk without the singing.
And I'm sorry, babe, but I'm outing you on this one. So I just got this message.
Which voice?
Wow, right?
Wow. Wait till she finds out it was me who made the voice.
That's weird. Weird. I didn't know she had a thing for Owen Wilson.
Does she want me to like make her voice?
I know she really liked I know she liked Marley and me, but
no, I was kidding. Please don't.
Wow.
I didn't want to embarrass Ryan, so I didn't want to post it right on there. That's why I text you. Because Ryan gets, he's like 10 when it comes to that stuff. He's like, oh my God. So anyways.
No, you're in bed and you're like, oh,
right there.
Wow, Amber, that's just way.
How was that for you, babe? Was it all right?
Wow. I love how you tickle the balls. I want to see Tulsa Kings, but won't get a 5th streaming service. Flickster. Yeah, I know. That's the worst thing about living in the modern world is having to pay for all these different streaming services between Paramount, Netflix, Disney, Crave, blah blah blah. Flickster. I wish there was just one place you can go to where you can pay for it all and just get it all in one spot, but there isn't. Flickster. Flickster. But if we could ever find that, if anyone was ever come up with something like that, that'd be great. Because especially if it was only like $60 and you got like 189 days for that. That was a pretty specific number, right?
That was very specific
number, right? Flickster.
$59.95 US.
$26 US a month.
But like legit, just pay for the fucking year because it's so much cheaper. If that was a thing. But we don't want to tell anybody about Flickster because we don't want it getting shut down. But Flickster is great from what I hear. I literally tell everybody when I meet them, when they're like, I need somewhere to watch something. And I'm like, really? Flickster.
So you're who I blame.
Oh,
it goes down.
Dude, it never ever, it's gone down once in the fucking 3 years that I've had it. Like, and it was down for a day.
And we just jinxed it.
Oh fuck, I just tried to log in, it's gone. I'll never know what happened to Sylvester Stallone in the next episode of Tulsa Kings. You know what though? Like, they have to be paying somebody. We talked about this last week or last time. There's no way that the big companies don't know about it. There's no way. We're idiots. We are idiots. And we know about it. There's no way that people making all the money in the world don't know about a place that's taking some of their money. Like, I'm thinking they're giving some of their money to those companies. I think it's all not cocaine. I mean, when people do that and they mean it's hush money. Right.
So you like to party?
No. Just like the smell of it. I'm kidding, folks. I swear. I haven't tried that in decades. How about them Sabres? Why don't we move on to the next story, though? Speaking of how cool Bob Ross is. Paramount. We just really got off the topic there.
Yeah.
So
those Snow Peak Mountains.
So you know what's weird living in this world that we live in where everybody gets upset over, and I'm one of them. When they change the gender or race of a role, I think they should always keep it the same just to avoid fighting. Honestly, that's the major reason why I think that. don't think people should, just so we don't have to fight. So Antonio Banderas recently was being interviewed and by comicbook.com about his new Puss in Boots Christmas movie, and they were asking him if he would ever consider coming back to reprise his role as Zorro. He was like, oh yeah, if I could pass the mantle off, kind of like Anthony Hopkins did to me, and pass the sword down to the next fucking Zorro. And they asked him who he would pick as the next Zorro. And without missing a beat, the first name that came to his head, Tom motherfucking Holland. That's right. British born, whitest of the white, Tom Holland to take over the role as Zorro. Is it okay because Antonio Banderas said it?
I mean, if it's being passed down, if it's one of those, Dread Pirate Roberts situations, then I mean, does the race matter? Does the gender matter?
I guess not. No. I mean, you're right. I just feel, and I shouldn't say I feel. It just feels like in today's climate, the one gender or race you can't change something to is a white dude. You can't change something from any other race into a white dude, but you can change any other race to a white dude. And I'm not saying it's right either or. I'm just saying that seems to be the climate we live in. Let's call it how it is, okay? I mean, okay, all right. I mean, I love Tom Holland. I think he's a great actor. Personally, I would have went with a Mexican actor though.
Yeah,
I just would have kept it, regional at least, and yes, I know he's the treat of the week, but I probably would have went with what's his name, Jolo, the kid from Cobra Kai.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right. I mean, he's Blue Beetle too, so
Yeah.
he's already going to be that next big thing. So why not?
Yeah.
Right. Better than Timothy Chalamet or Tom Holland.
I mean, and if he can't be the next big thing, he can be the next Zorro.
Oh, is that a shot at Antonio Banderas? I love Zorro and Antonio. Oh,
I like
man,
Assassin.
You just put me in a weird state.
Like a red state.
Oh god.
Yes, just like.
Red State 2 is apparently coming, as we heard Kevin Smith say earlier this week. You know what else I heard him say this week? I heard him introduce episode 420 of Elegant Weapon, which you and I were guests on this week.
Yep. Because we're stoners.
Just saying, you can find that wherever you find your podcasts. But Red State 2, like, what the hell, Kevin Smith? Where is Moose Jaws 2 already?
So where is the Moose Jaws?
And I kick myself daily almost. I was in an enclosed space with just me and Kevin, and he was signing my 8x10, and I had every opportunity to ask him, and I didn't. And then I forgot again later when we met him.
I mean, it's not like you've had an opportunity or two. I'm just saying, just putting that out there.
I mean, I was busy both those times.
I mean, your mouth was only full the second time or the first time. Just saying.
Yeah.
This time, I get it. This time, I mean, all right, sure, you were a little busy. But what was the problem here? And why the fuck am I so black in this picture? What the? Who the fuck is that?
Well, that is also a photo of a photo. Because we didn't get the digital copy of that one.
Dude, Cuba Gooding Jr., Wesley Snipes. Cuba Gooding Jr., Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
What the So yeah, all right, okay, that happened. We're happy with all of that though.
Give me Red State too, man. I love the first one. John Goodman. I mean, the actor who played the lead there, I don't know his name, but he was also in Tusk. Just fantastic.
Who, Justin Long?
No, not Justin Long. The old
Oh,
dude.
the other guy's dead.
Aww.
This guy, Michael, whatever his name is. Yeah, he died last year.
Oh. Well, I mean, we could get
you mentioned it on the show.
We could get what's his name from Bryan Cranston. I mean, I see a bit of resemblance.
Yeah, sure. Well, why not? Let's replace a lot of people with people we've seen before. Like, hey,
I thought you were gonna say let's replace a lot of people with Bryan Cranston.
No. Let's replace Bob Chakram, the Disney head, with his old boss,
Oh.
Bob Iger. Bob Iger, as we see on the left there, will be replacing Bob on the right there, who was his protege, taking over for him at Disney. But as we reported a couple weeks ago, Disney, for the first time ever, was seeing losses in profits and almost saw a loss in revenue. Never mind a loss in profit, a loss in revenue, which meant he had to go. Now, not only is Bob Iger coming back, who we know spearheaded the Kathleen Kennedy and Jon Favreau experiment with Star Wars, he's coming back and taking a pay fucking cut. And there's been many people leave the company after Iger's return. A little bit like Twitter. Too soon? Let me ask you, how if you were the substitute teacher, how would you pronounce the name Elon Musk? Elon Musk. Elon Muske. Elon Musiak. Where you at? Musiak. Elon Musiak. Elon. Pre-zone.
Yeah, something like that. Mr. Garvey made his return during a commercial spot on Paramount, to which he was calling out Blase from the Cars series, Bluey, of course, Blue's Clues. And then, I mean, we couldn't have Mr. Garvey back without calling out Aaron, to which Aaron Donald stood up in the back from the Los Angeles Rams and said, "Here, coach."
Yeah, which was awesome. If you want to pronounce Elon Musk's name, you just mash the keyboard the way he did. His kids. Boom. There it is. Winner for Adam. Well done, buddy. Well done. Yeah, true enough. I don't even know how to get into the next story from there, but here it is anyways. Mission Impossible. I know you haven't really watched these movies. I gotta admit, these are my guilty pleasures. I really like these movies. And if you are, we talked about this earlier.
My guilty pleasure is Huey Lewis in the News. So,
well, so was fucking Patrick Bateman.
don't group me in with Billy Ocean. That's
Mine
you.
is Billy
Yo! I'm throwing you in with Patrick Bateman.
I love Billy Ocean, man.
Do you know who Patrick Bateman is?
I don't.
Fucking Christian Bale, American Psycho.
Oh, right.
Hey,
right.
do you listen to Huey Lewis in the News? Yeah. He was a psycho killer. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Speaking of psycho killer, qu'est-ce que c'est? Mission Impossible. This doesn't have anything to do with it, but Mission Impossible director Christopher McQuarrie says that the next Mission Impossible movie will be most likely a 2-part finale to the series. Like I said, it's my guilty pleasure. I really like this show. Steve, you said you don't really watch this, but you were thinking about watching it. I do suggest not starting with the first couple, just because the tech doesn't hold up. The movies are still good, but I would start with some of the early or later movies. For real. That's my favor to you. That's what I do.
So we're not going to. You don't start with any originals, like so there's not going to be like any original characters. It won't be in the later ones that I won't like miss.
Oh shit! Yeah, watch from the beginning. Greg Christie, did you guys get fooled? Did you guys get fooled by the fake Bloodsport trailer like I did? There was a fake Bloodsport trailer, like a part 2.
I'm glad I didn't see it because you can't mess with my emotions like that.
Yeah, man. Like that shit would fuck me. Excuse me, fuck me up. I'd be upset. Sorry, I had KFC plant-based tonight. You know, that's what we do. Hey, listen, it was either that. I either had that or, oh baby, tossed salad or scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
Right?
If you haven't heard yet, Frasier is coming back again. Is he going to be trying to like? Is he going to be? He's already the only actor to win an Emmy as the same character on 3 different series.
3.
2 so far.
Who's the other one?
3. He won it for a guest spot.
Okay.
As
All right.
Frasier on what? What do you win it as Frasier on?
He won one for a guest spot as Frasier
on what?
On a different show. I don't know the show, but I know that he won it for 3 different shows playing the same.
Yeah.
So I mean, but somebody that's not going to be back. We know the father has passed. We don't know about Daphne yet, but we do know that David Hyde Pierce's Niles will not be returning. And when asked, he said he's simply not interested in repeating the performance.
Yeah, I heard this too, and this just to me sounds like I don't want to continue my career anymore.
I mean, I haven't seen him in anything lately.
The last thing I heard him on was when he was on The Simpsons playing Kelsey Grammer's brother, Krusty the Clown's brother.
But I mean, hey, if you're still sitting on all that Frasier money, I mean,
who needs more money?
Yeah.
Honestly, though, when you do anything like this, though, if you actually act for the love of acting, or if you're an athlete for the love of being the sport or whatever, you would really do it for free, though. Not for free, but you would do it just for enough to pay your fucking bills.
Right.
You would do it for the same money you would work at fucking 7-Eleven for.
Yeah,
like
you do it for scale.
Yeah. Greg says, yes, it's so good. JCVD can actually act if they sent him to speak, or they can make him speak English. Yeah, that's going to be the tough part. Bloodsport sequel, but I would watch it. JCVD can act if he doesn't have to speak English. He's actually funny. Yeah, he is pretty funny. That JCVD, I think it was a TV show. I actually don't think it was a movie, but it was pretty funny. And you talked about Niles not coming back, but we had a couple comebacks in the wrestling business. And this week we saw the return of the man, Becky Lynch. She's been on for about, 6 to 8 months now, making her comeback, saying that she will be joining Team Bianca for War Games coming up tonight. Actually, I think it's happening tonight. Which will be exciting to see. But Becky Lynch, so she's been going by the moniker The Man. And recently on a podcast, there was someone who said, yo, that was my name. And, you wouldn't do this. You wouldn't call yourself Stone Cold Becky. You wouldn't call yourself The Rock Becky. And that was The Man, Ric Flair, who's always said, to be the man, you've got to beat the man. He made that fucking saying. And he was a little upset about her having that name. He's like, but, what can I say? I can't say anything about that. It's just the way it is nowadays. But he also said in that same interview, as we see the 74-year-old, I think, who just wrestled earlier this year and faked a heart attack in the match in front of his family just to keep the role going, said that he will be appearing at the 30th anniversary of Raw, and that he may be making an appearance tonight as well at War Games. He was asked, are you allowed to say this? And he said, nobody told me no. I mean, at his age, you can do what you want.
Right? And
he's Ric fucking Flair. He's got his own weed company now with Snoop Dogg. I mean, he's got the drip. Or Mike Tyson, sorry. So he's good. He. But if you looked at him in this match here, dude was literally The Walking Dead.
And I knew you were going to lead me into that, and I don't want to have to give the Coles notes on this one, and I do have to go. So I'm going to skip that one, and maybe we'll talk about that next week. But I'm going to do this one as my last story because I thought this was I'm a big Jim Carrey fan, and I think at the time, this was a big movie. It wasn't Ace Ventura or The Mask or one of those, but I mean, Bruce Almighty did pretty good.
It was one that I actually liked of his.
And we know that there was a script, and they had Jim Carrey on board to do a movie called Brucifer, in which Jennifer Aniston's character had died, his life had gone to shit, and he gets the powers of the devil. I mean, come on. But Steve Carell's Evan Almighty didn't perform as well as they would have liked it to, which unfortunately got this one thrown in the can.
That's crazy. Well, all right, and there's a couple things that we wanted to review as well, and you got to go. We'll talk. We'll save your review for the Walking Dead finale. We're gonna also talk Andor next week as well. The finale of that because I know
that'll give people a week to get it in. It won't be completely spoilers either. So
yeah, exactly. And we can do Kevin Bacon and the Guardians of the Galaxy as well review.
I do want to stick around for your not your indie story, but your next story though.
Oh,
and then I'm gonna bow out.
Well, the Jake Gyllenhaal story.
Yeah.
So Jake Gyllenhaal and Dennis Quaid were out promoting their new Disney animated movie, which is getting killed in theaters. It is not doing well at all. But Strange World. And in this interview, someone asked Jake what it was like working with Dennis Quaid again after, the day after tomorrow, was it?
Yeah.
So check it out. Oh, we'll start it at the beginning. How about that? Oh, wait, the lazy racist. We don't want that one.
We got away with it once.
Well, sorry. Here we go.
Obviously played father and son in The Day After Tomorrow.
We did?
Years back.
Oh.
Right.
Oh.
Oh!
Whoa!
It's the first time we've been in the same room together.
That's the guy who played. That's the guy who played my dad.
That's me.
Whoa! Yeah. Wow, that's cool. You know what? We've been doing a lot of interviews, and you just blew my mind.
Dude, that was the most genuine fucking reaction I think I've seen from an actor in a long time. If you're Dennis Quaid, are you a little pissed? Like, I mean, I played your fucking dad. I was in the posters. We did even though we didn't act in the same scenes together very often, we did the junket together. The same shit we're doing right now where we're talking to. We did this all already.
Yeah.
As father and son. This just goes to my Jake Gyllenhaal's creepy.
Yeah.
And again, Jake, if I could ever be in one of your movies, I will. I love you. But you're creepy as fuck.
You can bring the creepy.
Bring the creepy. I can act with creepy, but that shit was creepy. That shit was the funniest stuff though. Like, what do you if you're Quaid, what are you thinking though?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this before with like Gwyneth Paltrow going, "Oh, I was in that movie."
Every Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
That's too funny. Too funny. Well, there you go, man. That was a lot of fun. We got a few stories, like we said, that we'll get to next week. Steve's got to run out of here though, and we've already kept him a little late here. But I do hope everybody enjoyed the show. We had a great time. Hope you had a great time. Good seeing you again, buddy. Go blue, go orange and black tomorrow. All the best to you. Even though I don't have anybody from your team in my pool this year. Anyways.
Game's over.
Right.
Playoffs for me this year.
Well, we'll be thinking of you while we're there. But for the Wolverines and the Vikings, it's your boy Zeus. And for the Bungles and Florida State, It's your boy.
93, baby. 9-3.
Hope you all have a great one, and we will see you all next week. Peace.